Hi, everyone. I'm Kirsten from the Mass Realty Communications team, and today I'm here to talk with Leslie about the Lexington Farmers Market. So, I can't think of any better place or example of bringing a community together and having a way to sell and buy local products and just build this awesome sense of, again, community than a farmers market. So, I'm super excited to talk with Leslie, and thank you for joining us. Could you introduce yourself for everyone?
Yes, hi, I'm Leslie Wilcott-Henrie. I'm a longtime resident of Lexington, Massachusetts. I've lived here for 26 or 27 years, and I've been involved with the Lexington Farmers Market since its inception. And I've been the board president since 2016, so 5 years now.
Okay, excellent. So there from the beginning. So you're definitely
Mhm.
passionate about it. That's so great to hear. I always like to do a thing before we get specifically into your farmers market. I like to ask the people I speak to, what do you think, in a general sense, is the importance of a market to the community?
That's such a great question because I think understandably when people think of a farmer's market, they think of food, they think of people who grow food and they have their cup of coffee and their dog and their as they're walking through the market. And while it certainly is all that, farmers markets really bring so much more than solely healthy local food to a community. I know that from what we've seen in Lexington, it's been a real gathering spot for people who want to not just come and see what the farmers and vendors have brought to the market, but maybe see who's at the market that day, or they're used to meeting up with friends. They might want to check out one of the community groups we have at the market. So it ends up becoming this wonderful crossroads of all of these different sections of community life. And I think having healthy local food as the driver for that is the most wonderful thing, but it has brought so many more things to the community than I think anybody ever could have anticipated.
Right, that's amazing. Like you said, it's a place to foster all these relationships. And I know I love just going down on whichever day of the week to the farmers market for a little bit of time and perusing. And whether you pick up one or two things or
Mhm.
all your groceries for the week, it's just a nice outing as well, right? Something to do.
Well, a lot of what farmers markets are about relationship building. A lot of that is the relationship between the farmer and the vendor and the customer. It's an
Mhm.
educational process to learn about what they're selling and what they're doing, but it's just about making those connections, whether they be through food or people you've known for a long time, or sometimes town officials are there. So it's all this opportunity in this wonderful, vibrant place to sort of connect, which is great, and it's delicious. So what's wrong with
Right.
that?
Right, exactly. Definitely much better than popping down to your normal supermarket by yourself to pick up your
Exactly.
groceries.
Yes.
Right, that's awesome. Okay, that was a beautiful answer. Thank you for that. Now, specifically about the Lexington Farmers Market, I saw that you have multiple locations and different days that they run. Could you just tell that to us for anybody that's not aware?
Sure. So the market holds three distinct markets throughout the season. So they're seasonal markets. So our first original market starts from the end of May, beginning of June to the end of October. So that's what people think of as your traditional farmers market season. It's held on Tuesdays. We're from 2 to 6:30 or 6 p.m. once the light starts to wane. So it's a weekly market during the week, and it really features everything from spring to the best of fall produce, and then all
Mhm.
the other ancillary things we have at the market. Then we hold, it ends at the end of October, and then the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we hold a distinct, what we call Thanksgiving Feastival, which is an opportunity for people to fill their table with all kinds of wonderful things from the farmers market. And whether they're hosting or whether they're going to someone else's home to bring something that they know is healthy and local that they've either purchased or created themselves. Then we have, and this started I think 11 years ago, no, sorry, 7 years ago, a winter market, which is
Okay.
a bi-weekly market that's in June. I mean, I'm sorry, January to April. Um,
Mhm.
and we hold that at the local Waldorf school. They've been wonderful hosts, and it's really an opportunity to bridge between the seasons in a sense. A lot of people say, well, what can you sell in a winter market? And there's a lot of not just prepared food goods, but also farmers have stuff that has been in winter stores. So there's greens, there's potatoes, there's apples, there's squash, there's all kinds of things. So
Right.
the winter market came about because not just our customers, but our farmers and vendors were hoping that there would be an opportunity to still keep those connections with the community. And it's been a really huge success. We call our market the small yet mighty market because we have to be indoors in a smaller space. So instead of our normal 20 to 24 farmers and vendors, we have 10, but they're very, not to use an overused word, but they're curated so that it really is the best of meeting the needs of what the community wants at the winter market.
Right. That's so cool, because I think the only thing I hate about a farmer's market is that it ends. Right,
Yeah, it gets
point.
very sad in October. You start thinking, no, now what am I going to do?
Right, exactly. Well, there's so many awesome things. So you were saying about 7 years ago, one of them started, but how long has the entirety of the Lexington Farmers Market been around?
So the Lexington Farmers Market started in 2005 by three very committed local residents who worked really hard with the community to see what a farmers market could be within our town, and also impact, other local towns, and what a benefit it would be for the community, and sort of working through that process. Back in 2005, farmers markets weren't quite as well known as they are. And they certainly were thought of, I think, on a different scale. So these were folks who were really committed to the idea of preserving farmland and bringing healthy local food to the community, and worked really hard to make it happen. And until last year, we were in the same spot. We had to move because of a construction project in town, but they did so much work that we haven't had to change much of the original model because they did a beautiful job building it in the first place.
Okay, well, that's awesome. It's good to have something with a lot of history, and that's just doing something that's so important, right? We've talked in a couple of the interviews that we've had when we talk with local restaurants and local brewers that just buying local, not only is good for your community, it's more sustainable because you're buying your fruits and veggies right there, and it just brings so much great opportunity. So
exactly.
Yeah,
and as I said, the educational component is so great.
Yeah.
And I think people, half the time, they're not even sure what they need. They just want to talk with those farmers and vendors and see how they're doing. And, tell me the latest news from your family. And then let's talk about what you grow, sell, make, so.
That's so cool. Great. So we've talked a lot about fresh produce and potatoes and those kind of things. Is there any other type of stuff that you can get at the farmers market year-round?
We like to think of, from a food standpoint, I always like to think of us as we're breakfast to dessert. So when I spoke about the original founders, they did a really incredible job of focusing on filling all the holes that you might have. So we have this very broad mix that kind of meets the needs of any meal that you have. So we have fish, meat, lamb, we have poultry, we have eggs, we have all kinds of proteins, but then on top of that, we have bakers, we have farms, we have organic farms, we have ethically sourced chocolate, we have homemade empanadas. So it's this really wonderful mix that isn't just focused. I think sometimes when people think of a farmer's market, they think it's just focused on produce, which is certainly one of the benefits at the farmer's market. But we have a really great mix. In addition to the food, we also have artisans, local artisans, and we have entertainment, and we host a community tent as well. Okay. So the local artisans, we are what's known as a producer-only market. So anything that is sold at our market has to be grown, created, or made by the person who is at the market. And our artisans are included in that. So it's really, they're really wonderful because they're people they don't have to be from Lexington, obviously, but they too are sort of curated to be sure that they're bringing the best of local through the crafts they bring to the market. And then obviously our musicians are local as well. So
yeah, that's awesome. I have to really watch my wallet around our artisans at the market, because I'm like, these earrings and this.
No, I have to say I do a fair amount of my gift shopping at the market. Yes. Just the idea of not only am I generally committed to local, but in when you see what these people bring to the market. It is so much more meaningful than what you could find walking into a store. And, to get to talk to the person whose hands created whatever you're going to bring home, that's pretty special. And people love that story too.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. It's just like a little bit more heart and soul there, I think. Mm-hmm. That's great. So we have all the food from, like you said, breakfast to dinner. We got the artisans and musicians as well. And the community tent, you were saying about the organizations. Can we touch on that a little bit more?
So we've had a community tent for a number of years, and the good news is that it has been very popular for different nonprofit organizations or locally based organizations to come and talk about the programs that they have, sort of some of the outreach they do within the community, or to just start a conversation. What we found over the years is that it became so popular that we really needed to narrow the focus a little bit. So we do require that our community tent members are here that benefit the local community, so Lexington and surrounding communities. So they don't have to be from within the community, but they need to impact our community. As I said, because we had so many wonderful groups that wanted to come to the market, it started to be hard to really focus on what can we do as a local farmers market. So I think this has been a really great mix, and I think it's also given organizations, that might not otherwise have an opportunity to talk about their programs, to talk about the people who they can directly impact or bring in to learn more about what they can do to help. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, getting the exposure. I mean, sometimes too, there's an organization that's here to help people, and the people that need the help don't even know about it. Right. So.
Exactly. And we've ranged from, we have town officials come, the Department of Transportation, the town office. But we've also about to come is the LexRAP, which is Lexington organization, the Refugee Assistance Program that helps with resettlement of refugees. We've had the Lexington Historical Society come and speak. We have somebody from the local Women, Infants, Children WIC program come and speak. So it's a broad representation, but that's what a community is. There's so many different, notes you want to hit to make sure you kind of spread the love. And our community tent has really done that, I think.
Great. Well, that's so fabulous. There's so much going on down there. So, I mean, anybody watching that's thinking about moving to visiting Lexington, that lives in Lexington and didn't really realize, because like you said, sometimes people are like, oh, I don't really need potatoes, so why would I go to the farmer's market? But there's a lot going on down there and year round. What's the best way for people to follow along with what's happening at the market?
So we have, our website is a very popular place to go. It's www.lexingtonfarmersmarket, all spelled out, .org. We have our schedule on there. We have links to all of our farmers and vendors, so you can visit their websites as well. Mm-hmm. During the season, we have also pre-order information, so you can see how to pre-order before you come to our market. We have a very robust pre-order system to make it easier for people to come to the market at hours that work for them. Mm-hmm. We also have recipes, various other partnerships that we like to talk about. We have a very active Instagram account, which is Lexington Farmers Market, completely spelled out.
Awesome.
We have a Facebook page. We are the Lexington Farmers Market on the Facebook page.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think what else we have. And if you go to our website, you can sign up for a newsletter, which is not a spam newsletter. We send it out just during the season to let people know what's coming up at the next market. Mm-hmm. The reason I keep emphasizing what our spelling is that there are a lot of Lexingtons in this country, and we most frequently get mixed up with Lexington, Kentucky, which is a gloriously large market compared to our market. But we love to send people to Lexington, Kentucky if they mistakenly find us, and vice versa. So we are Massachusetts based. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. We will also throw some links down in the description so people can get there directly. But yeah, it is good to know that there is one that is easy to get mixed up with, because that is definitely unfortunate when it happens.
Well, people ask us, when is the so-and-so going to be there? And I'm thinking, I don't think we have this farmer. And so we end up having these very lovely dialogues with people, but it's like, gosh, I'm really sorry to tell you, he's not at our market. Go back to
yeah. So. Oh goodness. Fair enough. It happens. Well, before we totally wrap things up, is there anything that I didn't ask about that you're itching to tell anybody, or something coming up in the future?
I just, I think we have events at our market, like most organizations, we're building back from 2020. And it's been
Mhm.
really exciting to see what we've been able to do as we sort of reclaim all the things that mattered to us so much.
Yes.
And also, one other thing, an important component of our mission is to make sure that everybody, no matter what their income, has access to healthy local food. So we have an active SNAP match program. Massachusetts has a healthy incentives program for folks who are food insecure. So we do a lot to bring together everybody in the community, to give everybody access to healthy local food, and to embrace all that a farmer's market brings to Lexington and the greater Boston area.
Great. Yeah, that's super good to know that there's those things to help out as well if people still want to come down and are having a hard time. That's great.
Mhm.
Well,
Exactly.
thank you so much, Leslie. Everything sounds amazing. It sounds like a great time to come down any time of the year. And I hope that anybody checking this out is ready to come see you guys at their next convenience.
Exactly. We're open rain or shine. We
Yeah.
pride ourselves on having a fantastic rain boot selection, and
Oh,
the farm, just like farmers, we're always there no matter what. So we would love to see anybody new to town, or as you said, somebody who has been thinking about coming to the farmers market. We're here, and I think you'll be really just delightfully surprised with what the farmers market brings to you.
excellent. Well, thank you so much. That was lovely. And thank you to anybody checking out the video. And please do not hesitate to contact us with the email below or through our website if you also want to talk about your organization in Massachusetts. Thank you,
Great. Thank
Leslie.
you.